Okay, so let's continue. Oh gosh, let's continue. Eventually I did rise from my sleep, somehow fully refreshed and calm. How could that have been?
Did you have a good rest?
Oh, hello. I turned my head to see Diana at the door, arms crossed and leaning against the doorway's archway. She looked at concern and pure curiosity in her face as she waited my answer. Yes.
Good. A good rest is always important, especially to humans.
What about demons?
We rest as well, but it's not sleep like you humans do. We simply rest with our eyes open.
Why?
It's easier to avoid getting killed when your eyes are open.
Good point. I gulped. Were demons really that paranoid, or were they paranoid for a reason? Diana shook her head and stepped into the room, closing the door behind her.
So we need to find another way to get you back to the human world. It won't be easy, but I believe it can be done by tonight at the latest.
Yay! Tonight, really? Diana nodded and crossed her arms again, leaning on one hip.
It will take time to get our shadow agents to gather the necessary supplies, but they are not hard to obtain, being that we're in a position of power. You must be lucky.
What do you mean? Diana sighed before casting a short spell under her breath. In front of me appeared a floating map, almost like a hologram. It showed an entire world with mountains, plains, forests, and it was all surrounded by sea and water. Diana pointed at the marker that had a purple banner at its tip. It was marked in the centre of some mountains and forest area. It was at the very centre of the map.
That is where we are currently, the center of the Abyssal Plains.
Wait, so the centre of the Abyssal Plains, the Abyssal Plains itself is completely surrounded by water? Is the only area here? So the decaying sea surrounds it? Diana then ran her finger in a circle around the marker, showing a perimeter around it.
Everything we need for the spell is within this area. It will just take time to gather the materials and prepare it.
Good point.
I
nodded and understand the situation. I was going to hopefully be able to go home tonight, which was better than not going home at all. What should I do until then?
My suggestion? Stay in this room. I can mark this room as off limits so that no demon may enter that would confuse you for an intruder and kill you.
Yay. I gulped. I didn't want to die. As Diana made the magical map disappear, she shrugged.
However, I cannot stop you from whatever you wish to do. Just don't leave the castle.
Got it. No leaving castle. Behave. Got it. I nodded as she turned to leave. As she stepped out, Diana looked back to me with a reassuring look.
We'll get you back to the human world. I promise you that.
Yay! Finally, she left me alone in the room. I let out a small sigh and looked up at the ceiling. I had to wait until tonight to actually do anything. What was I going to do? Part of me agreed with Diana's suggestion, wanting to stay in the room and be safe in case the guards didn't know who I was and would kill me on sight. My curiosity, however, wouldn't leave me alone and wanted me to explore the castle. I was handed an opportunity to explore a castle in the dream world, and a part of me didn't want it to go to waste. I was torn on what to do. Explore. There was no way I was letting this chance pass me by. I stood and walked towards the doorway, opening a crack and looking around. There was no one in the hall, but there were 2 directions to go. Which way? Right. I went for the right. I closed the door behind me as I exited my room and began to make my way down the right corridor. Everything was definitely medieval style, and I felt a little bit small in the hall. It was like I was in a fairy tale, walking around in a wedding dress. It felt almost dreamlike. The passage seemed long, decorated with wall candles, paintings, random curtains and flowers. It was mythical to see, and I smiled. As I approached another fork in the hallway, however, I sighed. Really, how does anyone find their way around? I looked back, knowing that I hadn't walked far from my room. I could turn back, yet left. I was heading right, so I decided to try the opposite direction this time. I turned left and headed down the hall, greeted by some fantastical doors. The hallway began to almost drive me nuts. I found myself going upstairs and downstairs, then wound up in a 4-way corridor. Where have I landed myself? I became frustrated. Maybe giving in to my curiosity was a bad idea. However, the sound of an argument travelled through the air and caught my attention.
And you brought me this. Why?
Sir, the rebel queen demanded it be brought here along with the other materials.
A flower? is not important to the ritual. Throw it away or something.
But, sir...
I don't want to hear it!
From a
Get
nearby
out!
door, a man dressed in a dark cloak, holding a white lily-like flower, practically ran out. He left the door ajar, but let out a sigh before turning to walk away, not noticing me. What the... I walked over and peeked in, seeing that the room was a library. It was huge, and in the middle of it, by a table covered in books, was the lanky man who cast the shadow spell before. Oh.
I know you are there, human.
How did he know? What? Was he able to smell me or something? The man turned to look at me from over his shoulder.
Please don't just stand there. If you wish to come in, then come in. I'm not fond of people peeking into doorways.
Immediately I stepped into the room, not wanting to be rude. The man turned towards me and crossed his arms, taking in my full form.
Well, what may I help you with?
Oh, I was just wandering around. I didn't mean to interrupt or anything.
You needn't. You'll be returned to the human world soon enough.
I bit my lip. He was right. I really didn't need to wander around if I was never going to return. So my curiosity was pulling me to explore the castle, and there I was in the library. Well, I just simply wanted to see more of the place I happened to land in.
I see. And have you found anything of interest in your little exploration?
I found this library, didn't I?
That
the man turned back to the table as I took a moment to look around. There were so many books, it was almost dizzying to peer at them all. How much information was stored here? The man glanced at me as he continued to work on whatever he was focusing on.
I'm curious about something, human.
Oh dear.
Since you're here, you can answer this.
I turned back to the man as he straightened up and faced me once again. She's in a wedding dress and you asked her if she's well versed in war. Excuse me? That came out of nowhere. Why would he expect a woman in a wedding dress to know about war? No, I can't say that I am. Humans tend to try and stay out of war.
Truly? I'm surprised. I've heard that your world is ruled by multiple leaders and beliefs. How are you not constantly...
From the tone of his voice, it almost sounded like he was mocking me. Did he think little of humans? I glared. We try and maintain peace because we all know we're different. We don't always agree on things, but we all mostly agree that war is bad, so we avoid it. The man took one more look up and down my form, most likely searching for some physical sign that I was lying or aggravating. When he seemed to notice that I wasn't, he rubbed his chin gently as he leaned back against the table behind him.
Humans are such interesting creatures. You have your own societies and countries, ruled by presidents and governments. You are ununited, and yet you thrive. I wonder if the demon world can benefit from such a seemingly ignorant agreement.
Was he being serious right now? Why was he being stuck up? I crossed my arms, glaring hard at him. Why does it matter to you what the human world does? You're a demon. Things we do there don't affect anything here. Actually, for all you know, it might. Every decision we make does have repercussion. It does affect something somewhere down the line.
Ah, but that is where you are
The
mistaken.
man walked around the table and gestured to the books and the maps that had covered its surface.
When fighting a war, you need to look at all of the details to try and find the most efficient ways to bring your enemy down. When resolving it, you must be able to not only bring peace, but you must also know how to manage the land you have conquered in the aftermath.
I looked at the map, seeing multiple routes and ideas plastered all over the parchment. Was he seriously doing this much research for this war? However, the man simply crossed his arms.
Unfortunately, I suppose that research on the human world would be for naught. We are two different worlds, after all. Yours is built on steel and electricity, while our world is flooded with magic.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Why was he even talking to me at this rate? The man smirked at the agitated look on my face and chuckled. What's so funny?
I guess it's also true that humans are easily angered. Your expression gives you away.
It's a really good idea to antagonize her, considering how often she snapped at Eric already. Is this like not a really good idea at all? I honestly do not agree with him agitating her. Least of all, a girl who's meant to be having her wedding, and all those plans have just been thrown out the window. I growled before turning my heels and leaving the library. Rude ass! I was better off in my room. I remained in my room until the night came. I was given food, which looked like soup. The woman who gave it to me apologized, letting me know the food was scarce until the upcoming harvest, which was a couple of days away. Being that I was only staying the day, I didn't mind much. I was more concerned about what I was given to eat. It was some sort of stew with mysterious chunks swimming in its broth. It smelled surprisingly good, but who knew how it tasted? How about we refuse it? Goodness knows, there might be an imp in it for all I know. No. No way, no how. I wasn't in the mood to try out something new. After what I'd been through, and this was not something I wanted to try at all. A knock rapped on my door, breaking me out of my train of thoughts. Come in. The doorway opened to reveal Diana with a plate holding things I recognized, bread and cheese. I uttered a heavy sigh of relief before Diana laughed.
I suggest not trying that. As good as it smells, the taste would not sit well.
Instantly, I moved the bowl to the nearby table, thankful that I didn't have to try it. Diana handed me the plate and nodded, reassuring me that what was on it was indeed what it seemed.
It's not much, but it's human food.
I will.
Eat up.
I began to chow down, feeling the hunger in my stomach dissipate with each bite and swallow. The food I was eating surprisingly was delicious, and I began to crave something to drink. Diana chuckled and formed a small goblet in her hand, filled with clear liquid I assumed to be water. I took it and drank it down, feeling my thirst quenched before I let out a sigh. I feel so much better.
I can tell. Take a moment to finish eating. Then we'll head
I looked
for
up
the
at Diana, sounding excited. Everything was prepared for? Was it possible to go home now and get married? As if she read my mind, she smiled and nodded.
We finished the main preparations. We just need to head over and
I couldn't continue eating. My mind went to an obsessive frenzy of wanting to go home. I stood up, moved the plate and the goblet to the nearby table. Let's go!
Huh?
I nodded, not wanting to waste any more time. I need to get home, and I was tired of waiting. Diana stared before nodding and headed from the door, opening for me and exiting after me. As she closed the door behind her, I began to feel my heart flutter in relief joy. I was heading home.